All right, so you're thinking about studying abroad, huh? And Finland's caught your eye. I get it. Their education system, their quality of life, always at the top of those global rankings.
Mm.
So, yeah, smart move to be looking into that. And that's exactly what we're doing today in this deep dive. We're zeroing in on Finnish universities, what it's really like for international students.
Yep. We've been digging deep into all the nitty-gritty, the best universities, what to watch out for, how to actually apply, what life's like as a student over there. And we've even got some opinions and insights from the experts, the people who've been there, done that.
Exactly. Our mission here is pretty simple. We want to give you a clear picture of what it means to be an international student in Finland, cut through all the clutter, all the information overload, and arm you with what you really need to know to decide if Finland's the right place for you. So let's kick things off with the big question. Why Finland? Why should someone choose to study there?
Well, what really stands out from everything we've been looking at is Finland's dedication to top-notch education. It's not just talk either. It means they've got these really innovative research settings and an amazing quality of life, which honestly makes a huge difference when you're studying. And beyond academics, Finland consistently ranks super high for happiness and security, which is a big deal when you're thinking about moving to a whole new country.
Yeah, that feeling of safety and well-being is a
Yeah.
huge plus. Now let's talk about the universities themselves.
Yeah.
When it comes to the best in Finland, there are a few names that always pop up. Let's start with the University of Helsinki. What makes it so special?
Well, the University of Helsinki has this long history. It's the oldest and largest university in all of Finland. But it's not just about history. They consistently rank among the top 100 universities worldwide, which is pretty impressive. And, for someone who's thinking about doing a master's degree internationally, their focus on research is a big deal. They've got over 30 master's programs that are all about research. So if you're really passionate about research, if you want to contribute to your field, this university is a fantastic option. You could be working with leading researchers right from the start.
Wow, it's a huge opportunity for anyone serious about research.
Mm.
Next up, we've got Aalto University. Now, this one's really making waves, especially for people interested in tech and innovation. What makes Aalto stand out?
Aalto University definitely lives up to the hype as Finland's leader in innovation and technology. They're always getting top rankings for their programs in business, engineering, and design. But what really sets them apart is where they're located. They're right in the heart of what's considered Europe's most exciting startup ecosystem. So it's not just about trendy startups. It means you'll have amazing chances to network, maybe even land an internship with a cutting-edge company. And who knows, maybe you'll even get inspired to launch your own startup while you're there.
That connection to the startup world could be a game changer for your career.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's move on to the University of Turku. This one seems to have a really international vibe. What can you tell us about it?
So what's really cool about the University of Turku, aside from their strong academics and research, is how diverse their campus is. They have students from over 100 different countries, which creates this really welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. And, for a lot of international students, fitting in is a big concern. But Turku's diverse environment makes it seem like a really positive experience on that front. Plus, they're really proactive about offering scholarships to international students, which is a huge help when you're trying to figure out how to pay for studying abroad.
It's great to hear that universities are actively supporting international students financially. All right, another big name is Tampere University. What are its strengths?
Tampere University is Finland's second largest university, and they offer a wide range of academic programs. They're particularly strong in technology, social sciences, and medicine. And for you as a potential international student, the fact that they have so many English taught programs across all these different fields is a major advantage. It means no matter what you're passionate about, there's a good chance Tampere University has a program that's perfect for you.
That's awesome. And last but not least, we have Lapin-Rantalahti University of Technology, or LUT for short. That's a mouthful. But their focus on sustainability is definitely relevant these days.
Yeah, LUT is definitely making a name for themselves, especially when it comes to cutting-edge research in sustainability and energy. And one thing that's really interesting about them is how highly they rank for graduate employability. They really prioritize building relationships with companies and offering internships, which can give you a real leg up when you're thinking about what to do after you graduate.
So we've covered some amazing universities. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the financial side of things. This is a big concern for anyone thinking about studying abroad. So what's the typical tuition fee range we're looking at here?
For bachelor's and master's programs, international students are generally looking at tuition fees somewhere between 6,000 and 18,000 euros per year. It's a big investment for sure, but it's important to remember that most PhD programs in Finland are actually tuition-free, which is a huge draw for doctoral students.
And are there ways to help with those costs? What kind of scholarships are available?
Absolutely. There are a few key avenues for financial assistance. The Finland government scholarships are a major one, and a lot of universities offer their own merit-based scholarships, meaning you get them based on your academic achievements. Then there's also programs like Erasmus Plus and other European funding options depending on your program and nationality. It's really important to do your research on all these options and apply early.
Okay, so beyond tuition, what about the day-to-day cost of living? What kind of expenses should a student be prepared for?
From our research, the average monthly cost of living is somewhere between 700 and 1,500 euros. This covers the basics, accommodation, food, transportation, and other personal expenses. But here's the thing. Big cities like Helsinki are naturally going to be more expensive than smaller university towns. So where you choose to study will definitely impact your budget.
All right, so let's say someone's decided Finland ticks all the boxes academically and financially. What's next? What does the application process look like? What are the steps involved?
Well, the application process usually has a few main stages. First, you've got to choose the program and university that really fit your academic and career goals. Then you'll need to check the English language requirements. Usually this means taking a standardized test like IELTS and getting a score of 6.0 or higher, or TOEFL or PTE, and the main application portal is called studyinfo.fi. That's where you'll fill out your application and upload all the necessary documents like your transcripts and letters of recommendation. Now, some programs might also require an interview or an entrance exam just as part of their selection process. And then finally, you'll get a notification about whether you've been accepted.
So once you're in Finland, what's student life actually like? What kind of support systems are there for international students?
Well, from what we've seen, Finland is a really welcoming and safe environment for international students. In fact, it consistently ranks really high globally for both happiness and overall safety. Plus, universities and student organizations offer a bunch of cool benefits like discounts on public transport, food at student cafeterias, and even cultural activities. A lot of this is accessible with a student card that you get when you enroll.
Those discounts sound super helpful, especially with managing the cost of living. What about earning some money while studying? Is part-time work a possibility for international students?
Yeah, generally international students are allowed to work part-time for up to 30 hours a week during the semester. Now, how much you earn will depend on the kind of work and where you are, but on average it looks like it's around $30 a week. The most popular part-time jobs tend to be in things like hospitality, IT support, and tutoring. And there are some great resources to help you find a job like the Job Teaser platform and TE services, which is the Public Employment and Business Services.
Now let's be real. Moving to a new country always comes with challenges. What are some of the common hurdles that international students face in Finland? And what are some strategies to overcome them?
There are a few common challenges that come up a lot. Like we talked about, the higher cost of living is a big one. Some good strategies for dealing with that are applying for scholarships early on, making student accommodation a priority because it's usually cheaper, taking advantage of those student discounts, and maybe looking into part-time work. Then there's the Finnish winters, which can be pretty intense, long and dark. Investing in good quality winter clothes, making sure you're getting enough vitamin D, and finding indoor activities and social events can really help with that.
Right. And then there's the language barrier. Even with English-taught programs, daily life might involve some Finnish.
That's true. Even though English is widely spoken, trying to learn some basic Finnish phrases can make a big difference in your day-to-day life, from going shopping to just chatting with locals. Universities and language schools offer basic Finnish courses, and translation apps are super handy too. And socializing and building a support network can be tricky too, because Finnish culture is known for being a bit reserved. Joining student clubs, going to university events, and making an effort to connect with local and international students can really help create that sense of community.
And the academic culture might be different from what some international students are used to, with its focus on independent learning.
Yeah, the Finnish education system is big on critical thinking, independent research, and self-directed learning. So if you're used to a more structured, lecture-based approach, it can take some adjusting. Going to the orientation programs, the university offers talking to professors during office hours, forming study groups with your classmates, and using the university's resources like academic advising and time management workshops can be super helpful in adapting to this new style of learning. And then there's finding part-time work that doesn't require you to be fluent in Finnish, which can be tough. It's a good idea to start looking early in the semester. Use those online job portals and university career services, and maybe even consider remote work opportunities or internships with international companies in Finland.
Okay, so for those listening who are seriously thinking about applying for the 2025 intake, what advice would you give them? What should they be doing right now?
If you're aiming for the 2025 intake, the first thing you need to do is really research and choose a program that truly aligns with your long-term academic and career goals. Take your time, explore the program curriculum, look into the faculty expertise, make sure it's the right fit. Then you've got to really understand the admissions process that's outlined on the studyinfo.5 portal. And keep those deadlines in mind. The autumn intake deadlines are usually in February, and even though lots of programs are taught in English, always double-check the language requirements. Some programs, especially at the bachelor's level, might require you to know some Finnish or Swedish.
And getting your finances in order seems like something to tackle early on.
Absolutely. Start researching scholarships and financial aid options right away. Look into the Finland government scholarships and any grants or scholarships offered by the universities you're interested in. Pay attention to the eligibility criteria and those application deadlines because they can be all over the place. At the same time, start creating a realistic budget. Figure out how much it'll cost you to live there, remembering that Helsinki and those bigger cities will be pricier than the smaller university towns. If you're not from the EU or EEA, you'll need to apply for your student residence permit online through the Enter Finland website as soon as you get that acceptance letter. And be prepared to go to a biometric verification appointment at your local Finnish embassy.
So what are some practical things students should do once they've been accepted and they're getting ready to move?
Once you've got that acceptance letter, finding a place to live should be a top priority. Check out options like HOAS, which is the Helsinki Region Organization for Student Apartments, and Atinius Student Housing. They're big student housing providers. And see if your university offers any housing services, too. Booking early is always a good idea because student housing can fill up fast. Once you arrive and you've officially registered at the university, you'll need to open a bank account in Finland to manage your money. The big banks are Nordea OP Bank and Danske Bank. You'll usually need your Finnish personal ID number to open an account, which you get after registering. And while you're at it, try to learn some basic Finnish culture and a few common phrases. Things like being honest, being on time, respecting personal space. Those are all important in Finland, and understanding those norms will help you fit in. Make sure you get your student card and use those student discounts. They're everywhere for all sorts of stuff. And if you're planning to work part-time, start looking for jobs early on through the university's career services and online job boards. And most importantly, enjoy the Finnish lifestyle. Try a sauna if you get the chance. See the Northern Lights, explore the amazing nature Finland has to offer. And as you go through your studies, keep your future career goals in mind. Go to those networking events and career fairs. Finland has a 2-year post-study work visa, and there's a huge demand for skilled workers in sectors like tech, healthcare, and engineering.
Wow, it sounds like Finland is really making an effort to attract and support international students. Is there any evidence of a broader commitment from the government to make this happen?
Oh, definitely. Our research shows a strong commitment from the government to increase the number of international students in Finland. In the 2020-2022 academic year, Finnish universities hosted over 22,000 international students. A big chunk of them were in regular universities. This number shows a massive increase of almost 30% over the last 10 years, which means Finland is becoming a really popular place to study. The Finnish government has this ambitious goal of attracting 15,000 new international students every year by 2030. They're especially interested in building relationships with countries like India. On top of that, the government is working on ways to keep international talent in Finland after graduation, things like extending work permits after you finish your studies, increasing the number of spots available for students, and being more flexible with working hours for international students.
Let's zoom in on one of these universities. The University of Helsinki, being the oldest and largest, seems like a good example. What's their international student population like?
The University of Helsinki consistently ranks in the top 1% of universities worldwide. That's according to the Times Higher Education 2024 rankings. They're a great example. In 2023, they had over 2,500 international students, which is about 8% of their total student body of over 31,000. What's interesting is that a lot of international students say that Finnish cultural values like privacy and direct communication fit really well with an academic environment that values focused study and mutual respect. And we're seeing big institutions like Aalto University really incorporating sustainability into their courses, which reflects a wider trend in Finnish higher education.
But we're also lucky to have insights from some real experts in the field. What are their thoughts on studying in Finland?
We've got Rod-Anna Korhonen, an education consultant, who points out that Finnish universities are known for their innovative teaching methods and their strong connections with different industries. And they do all this while keeping education relatively affordable compared to other Western countries. Then there's Professor Markus Letonen from the University of Helsinki. He talks about how unique the academic experience is in Finland. They're really into integrating digitalization into learning, and they focus on applying knowledge in a practical way, which makes Finnish degrees really competitive in the global job market.
It's always great to hear from people who've been there, done that. And speaking of that, we've got some stories from international students who've successfully navigated this whole process. What are the key takeaways from their experiences?
We've got three really inspiring stories. Here's Arav. He chose to study at Aalto University, and he was initially overwhelmed by all the information. But he got some guidance, figured things out, and even managed to secure a scholarship. Now he's thriving in his AI studies. Then there's Maria, who's pursuing her passion for environmental science at the University of Helsinki. She got some great advice on her application and how to prepare for the IELTS exam. She also got a scholarship, and now she's doing important research on climate change. And then we have Leo, an engineering student at Tampere University. He was worried about financing his education, but he ended up getting a full scholarship. Now he's specializing in smart mobility, which is a really in-demand field. Their stories show just how important it is to seek out support and guidance, really understand the application requirements, and be persistent in pursuing those financial aid opportunities.
So there are organizations out there that specifically help prospective students with all this.
Yeah, absolutely. There are organizations like LetzStudy that offer a bunch of services to international students who are thinking about applying. They offer things like free initial consultations, help with the visa and university application process assistance with finding and applying for scholarships, and even specific help with preparing for English language tests like IELTS and writing those personal statements. This kind of support can be super helpful in understanding all the complexities of applying to study abroad and boosting your chances of getting accepted.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember about studying in Finland?
The main message is that Finland is a fantastic option for international students who are looking for a high-quality education that's becoming more and more accessible. Of course, there are challenges like the cost of living and adapting to a new culture, but with careful planning, good research, and using the many resources and support systems out there, these challenges can definitely be overcome.
That's a really insightful overview. And it leaves us with a final thought for you. Our listener, Finland is all about innovation. They're committed to nurturing international talent, and they consistently rank high in education and quality of life. So think about this. What kind of positive global impact could you make by studying there? We encourage you to keep exploring. Look into the specific programs at the universities we talked about, or research the Finnish student visa process. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Been a pleasure. Until next time, take care.
See you later.
Bye.